Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start it off by giving all the glory and infinite praise to the true and only living powers in the names of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who I'm taught and learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to all you Wakim, that is serving Yahweh Shema Shine sincerity, hoping for mercy and salvation in these last days, man. To you, I say Shalom and Yahweh Shema Shine Brakathun. So this gonna be a quick hit on Sirach 29 and verses 10 and verses 11, because you know just meditating on the perilous times ahead, just watching brothers' lessons, we understand and have an understanding that it's like damn mosquitoes, but we have an understanding that at any given moment, the Lord can put a plug on this place, and the only thing that's really gonna matter, because it's wise to store up certain things. And when I say store up, I don't mean being in a doomsday prep state of mind, but grabbing a little extra, you know what I mean? That'll be using wisdom. You know what I mean? If you know that tomorrow, right, there's a possibility that November 1st, and you have the ability to grab a little extra, right? Grab a little more, right? That's just using wisdom. But ultimately, we understand that none of those things are going to deliver us in these times, right? We understand that, gold and silver, even though, the prices of those are going up, right? They're becoming more and more valuable. When there's a full-blown famine, you can have as much gold and silver stored up as you want. That gold and silver is not going to fill your belly. All right, but having faith in Yahweh Shema Shine, what he did for our forefathers, that is going to fill your belly, man. All right, and this is why brothers say, including myself from time to time, we are going to have to step out on some serious faith, man. Because we're not going to be able to just freely, move around like how we're moving around, man. It's going to get to a point where brothers is not, able to go into grocery stores and, and get the things that you need, because not only are, food riots and things of that nature, going to be taking place, you're going to be having shit happening in grocery stores, because Lord willing, I got this lesson plan that I wanted to bring out, laying back and off the elder Amun Gabar, going into the food riots, and he was mentioning what Apostle Hart was saying on how these grocery stores basically not going to be open forever, bro. All right, and this is something that we've been known about, but this is about to become we finna have to look at this shit for face value, man. All right, everything that we've learned, we're gonna have to apply every single day, throughout each and every one of our steps that we're gonna take on our walk, man. Not to say, not saying that we're not supposed to be applying it now, right? But when that time comes, man, you really gonna have to apply these scriptures, right? Everybody can say they got faith, but then, when your stomach hurting a little bit, and you don't know where you gonna go to get your next meal from, then that's when it's really gonna, show who got faith and who don't, man. Right? So this is why, currently, man, you should be basically building up your spiritual bank account, because Yahweh Shai said himself, not to store up treasures, on earth where, rust and moth doth corrupt. People can steal it. It can be destroyed. It's going to lose value over time. You know what I mean? It can be, whatever. But with this truth, right, with this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, those things can't happen. All right? You don't have to worry about it rusting. You don't have to be worrying about it being stolen from you. All right? And ultimately, all right, faith is a gift, man. right? So if you have faith, then you gotta utilize it, because if you don't, like, you know, Yahweh Shai had, you know, spoke about the parable, you know, with the penny. The Lord gonna take that penny from you, man. All right, the Lord gonna take that gift from you. But the point being is store up your spiritual bank account, because you're supposed to be setting your affection on things above and not below, man. All right, because with us coming to this truth, we understand that none of this shit is forever. All right, when Esau come in and kick down your door, he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. You're not gonna be able to take none of this shit with you. All right, and then when the missiles come, you damn sure not gonna be able to take none of this shit with you. All right, so the only things that matter is this truth. All right, so the first scripture on the grab, or which is it'll be the only, but this is the book of Sirach 29 and verse. I'm gonna just start at 11. It say, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. All right, lay up thy treasures according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. All right, this is why in Isaiah 4:1 it says that the Most High will make a man more precious than fine gold, even more precious than the gold of Ophir. All right, why are we gonna be made more precious than fine gold? Right? Why is, you know, laying up the treasures according to the commandment of the Most High more profit than gold? Why is it gonna bring you more profit than gold? Because when we at the brink of this shit happening, you're gonna have people with gold and silver, and guess what? They're not gonna be able to do shit with it. All right, they're not gonna be able to do a goddamn thing with it. Right now, you know, people who got some type of status they may have, you know, wealth or whatever the case may be. All right, you know, the women flock to them, but in that time, women are gonna be grafting, right? Or gonna be trying to be under the wing of a man of Yahweh Shema Shai, because like 2nd of the 16th chapter says, then shall it be known who are my chosen. When you out here walking around about, your stomach full, everybody else out here, they looking like they malnourished, they ain't ate in a couple of days, ain't ate in a couple of weeks, possibly a month. You know what I mean? Your clothes, you know, like, you know, one thing that Jake has to keep in mind is the miracles that the Lord did for our forefathers, man. If you don't keep those in mind, then, I mean, you're gonna be wavering and shit when Esau starts to really apply that pressure, man. All right, and you could say that it begins with food stamps. You know, certain brothers, you know, such as myself, you know, I get food stamps, but I understand that this shit got to get bad in order for it to get better for us, man. All right, and that don't mean that the Lord ain't gonna look out. The Lord gonna look out, man. All right, but at the end of the day, having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, everybody gonna be out here bugging out, you know, losing their shit, panicking, crying, and, you know, you gonna be merry and have abundance, man. You know what I mean? Because you gonna know what's going on, man. Right? And I remember the elder Yashawamba from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. He had mentioned, you know, our faith is gonna be increased by every step going into Jacob's trouble. All right, because it's not all about just just suffering and shit. You know what I mean? That's what comes with it, because you got to prove your faith through suffering. All right, but the Lord is going to be increasing brothers' faith by allowing them to see miracles, by allowing them, you know, when there ain't shit out here to eat, it's just somehow, some way, you eating. All right, the Lord having birds bring you food and shit. Stuff that we read about that we haven't seen happen. But we know there's a possibility that it can happen, man. Right? Having it to where, I don't know, Eve, the Most High can have it to where Eve be sealed, you know what I'm saying, have her faith sealed by have her whipping up some food. She thinking she cooking it for herself and her peoples and shit. And the Lord do what he did with Habakkuk. Have an angel come and grab you by your head and teleport you to where brother at, and brother probably ain't eating a couple of days, him and his family hungry, and it's an Eve right there with a big ass pot of stew or something for you. You know what I mean? These are the type of things that you got to keep in mind, man. right? But this is why brothers are gonna be more precious than gold, man. We're gonna be more valuable than gold, man, because we're gonna not only have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but we're gonna have that the one, right? If I ain't mistaken, I think that's how you say it in the Hebrew, the one, which is the mark of exemption, man. Right? It's gonna be real noticeable who got it out here when everybody out here fucked up. Alright, it's gonna be real noticeable, man. But let me read this over again. Verse 11, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. Alright, it shall fight for thee against thine enemies better than a mighty shield and a strong spirit. Right? Because money is used as a defense, man. You know, so this is twofold. You know, brothers can put back a little bit, spend a little wisely in these times. Do so, man. All right, you're gonna have to adjust to how this shit is. All right, but shut up arms in our storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction, man. All right, money's not. And Jake got to put things in perspective. Money, you know damn well, money is not going to deliver you from all trouble in these times, man. And this is why I said it's twofold. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, you know, you may be put in a certain situation where you got to have some money on the back burner. And it may come through to pay you rent that you may miss, that you may not, you know, be able to make ends meet with. All right? But primarily, it's the spirit, man. All right? Because the scripture tells you in the book of Ezekiel, I think it's maybe the 4th chapter, I believe. But gold and silver gonna be cast out into the streets, right? Because there's a time and season for everything, man. All right, but store up arms in our storehouses, man. Store up, you know what I'm saying, them spiritual arms on your spiritual bank account, man. So that whenever you in a time of need out here, that's gonna be used as your defense, man. All right, that's gonna be the only thing that's gonna be your defense in that time when shit is that bad, man. All right, so this is why we put the spirit first and foremost, because we understand that ain't nothing bigger than the Most High, and you can't never go wrong with trusting and leaning on your Yahweh Shema Shai. Like I said, man, that's gonna be real noticeable when we at the brink of this shit happening. But you know, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Just something quick through the spirit that I wanted to bring out. You know, I would, you know, continue, you know, through the spirit, but you know, Jake finna have to go gas. I only got like 3 miles, man. But you know, with that being said, Lord willing, you know, this quick hit was edifying, and that the point was proven. Before I close it out, I'm gonna give all the glory and infinite praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah HaKadosh, Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shai Barakatham, and above.